What's good, my crypto fam? Happy Sunday fun day. In today's show, lots to discuss, including Blockstack soars another 12% as Bitcoin is pretty flat at 23,000. I'll be breaking down the latest weekend watch. And breaking news, the SEC Chairman Gary Gensler says everything other than Bitcoin is a security. That's right. And not only that, but Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the United States has no intention to ban Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Also, more breaking news. Wyoming passes a bill protecting Bitcoin users. The new disclosure of private cryptographic keys legislation states no person shall be compelled to produce a private key or make a private key known to any other person. Also in today's show, Colombia's legal system experiments in the metaverse. Yup. That's right. Also, Voyager is selling crypto assets through Coinbase, suggests the latest on-chain data, as well as FTX Japan allows total withdrawal of funds as users rejoice the escape. Also in today's show, GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust approval, could return a couple of billions of dollars to investors, according to the Grayscale CEO, Michael Sonnenschein. Also in today's show, the ex-BitMEX CEO, Arthur Hayes, warns of a massive global crash incoming and shares his Bitcoin and crypto strategy. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. And today's episode is brought to you by the largest crypto exchange in the world, which is Binance. Do you know they offer free trading with the top pairs such as Bitcoin? That's right, truly making it a no-brainer. And if you use my referral link in the description below, you can earn up to $600 as a bonus for getting started today. And if you're a Binance US user such as myself, you have to use the other link specific for Binance US, which you'll also find in the description below. It's just a different offer where if you trade $100 in cryptocurrency, you're going to receive $10 for free. So go ahead and take advantage of it. And let's get this crypto, shall we? And welcome everyone just tuning in. I'm your host, JV. This is pod episode number 1205. And today is February 26th. 2023. Checking out the crypto market, which you can now see here on your screen. We're finally starting to pump again. Bitcoin up 1% for the day, maintaining above just 23,250, with Ether up 0.5%, back above $1,600, as the majority of the alts are barely in the green. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we're still maintaining that $1 trillion milestone as far as the market cap, with very low volume of only about 34 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the current Bitcoin dominance at 42.2%, with the Ether dominance at 18.5%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, Stacks leading the pack, up 13% for the past 24 hours and a whopping 93% for the week, trading at 77 cents, followed by Neo, up 10%, trading at $12.44, followed by Lido DAO, up about 10%, trading above $3. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, as you can see, massive gains. We got STX still up 13%, according to this one. Neo is up 9.2%, and Floki up 8.8%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 51 neutral, yesterday a 52, last week a 60 in greed, and last month a 55 in greed. So there you have it. How many of you are currently bullish on the King Crypto? Holla at your boy. With that being shared, now let's break down the latest technical analysis of what's happening with the charts. Now, Bitcoin at 23 Gs, it tried its hand taking down 25,000 three times in the past 10 days, with the most notable surge coming in the midst of last week as it shot up by $3,500 on Thursday. The volatility only increased as Bitcoin slipped to under 23.5 shortly after, while the latest attempt at 25,000 came February 21st. Bitcoin briefly jumped above that line, but was rejected quickly and fell back down to 23.5. And following another price pump to 24.6, the US PCE data came out, and Bitcoin dropped by almost 1,000 in a matter of hours. It dumped to a 10-day low of 22.8. According to Bitstamp, the crypto has recovered some ground and sits inches above 23,000, which you can see on your screen. We're currently trading at around 23,000, 2 to 300. Now check it. Now let's discuss Blockstack stealing the show. One of the best performers in the past several weeks has been Stacks because of its relationship with the much hyped NFT ordinals and the Bitcoin network. Now Stacks had skyrocketed 160% on the weekly scale a few days ago, and there were predictions that it could continue this way until it becomes a multi-billion dollar token. Let's go. Now, the past 24 hours have brought another impressive increase of 12% that pushed STX to literally 75%. And I'm curious, which altcoins are you currently most bullish on? Let me know in the comments below. And now for some breaking news, the chairman of the SEC, Mr. Gensler, says everything other than Bitcoin is a security. Janet Yellen says the United States has no intention to ban Bitcoin and crypto. Is good to hear. Also, Wyoming passes a bill protecting the Bitcoin users. It's called HB 0086, and this disclosure of private cryptographic keys legislation states no person shall be compelled to produce a private key or make a private key known to any other person. I love to hear that law, and I hope that law continues in the other states and countries around the world. And now with that being shared, now let's discuss the latest of what's happening with Colombia's legal system in the metaverse. Could you imagine attending a court trial in the metaverse? Quite interesting, to say the least. So here we go. Colombian court recently hosted its first legal trial in the metaverse, with the court magistrate saying it felt more real than a video call, according to the report. And according to Reuters' report published February 24th, Colombia's administrative court held the court case in the metaverse February 15th involving participants in a traffic dispute. The case lasted 2 hours and was brought by a regional transport union against the police and will progress partly in the metaverse. The verdict also has been said it could be given in the metaverse. The participants appeared as avatars in a virtual courtroom with magistrate dressed in black legal robes. It was noted that Colombia is one of the first countries in the world to test legal proceedings in the metaverse, with the judge telling Reuters that it felt more real than a video call. This comes after a recent survey released by Coinwire January 16th, which found 69% of respondents believe that the metaverse will eventually modify social lifestyles due to the new approach taken for entertainment and activities. Now, Kathy Hackle, the author of Into the Metaverse, the essential guide to the business opportunities of the Web3 era, told Cointelegraph that the physical world side of the metaverse will come in the next 10 years. Hackle added that if that is considered, then how we socialize will be deeply impacted by the metaverse. And in January of this year, the World Economic Forum boasted metaverse experiences. The conference allowed delegates to experience the forum in its own 3G immersive digital sessions called the Global Collaboration Village. So there you have it. Now my question for you, if you had the opportunity to attend court, would you choose to do so in person or through the metaverse? Let me know your thoughts. And now with that being shared, now let's discuss the latest that Voyager is selling their assets through Coinbase, which kind of took me by surprise. But yeah, Voyager Digital, the centralized platform that filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 11 in 2022 of July, is reportedly selling assets through the Coinbase crypto exchange. On-chain data suggests Voyager received at least $100 million in USD coin in 3 days, starting February 24th. And since Valentine's Day, Voyager has sent crypto assets to Coinbase on an almost daily basis, alleges on-chain analysts Look Onto Chain. The investigation shows Voyager transferred millions of dollars using a mixed bag of crypto tokens, including Ether, Shiba Inu, and Chainlink. That's right. And Look On Chain revealed Voyager's use of 23 tokens valued at over $100 million. The image below shows a list of tokens with their value in US dollars. However, note, Coinbase has not yet responded to the Cointelegraph request for comment to confirm the claim's legitimacy, but you can see it right here. Shiba Inu with a value of 28 million. It's interesting that that's the top one out of all of them. Ethereum with 25 million, Voyager token at 12 million, Chainlink 4 million, and the list goes on and on. So despite the sell-off, Voyager holds nearly 530 million in crypto, with the largest shares in Ethereum and Shiba Inu. And amid the alleged sell-off of funds, the U.S. SEC objected to the Binance U.S. move to acquire over $1 billion of assets belonging to Voyager. February 22nd, filing submitted to the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District in New York, the SEC stated, however, the debtors, which are Binance U.S., have yet to demonstrate that they would be able to conduct such sales in compliance with the federal security laws. But meanwhile, they're allowing Coinbase to do so. So it's quite interesting, to say the least, if you're to ask me. I just hope the investors who lost their assets get the assets back, and it doesn't just all go to like the SEC and the authorities so they can just shake down more companies at the end of the day, which is ultimately what they tend to do. But with all that being shared, now let's discuss the latest of what's happening. Good news for those in Japan who have been using FTX, because as we know, all the funds got frozen, but allegedly those in Japan were able to remove all their funds. So let's now break this down, shall we? Check it out. FTX customers worldwide patiently awaiting a conclusion to the FTX SBF litigation. Users of FTX Japan have started withdrawing all of their funds. November 7, 2022, crypto exchange FTX and its subsidiaries slowed fund withdrawals after CZ, the CEO of Binance, announced the crypto exchange would liquidate a substantial of holdings of FTX token. The domino effect forced Liquid Group, a Japanese crypto trading platform owned by FTX since February, to halt withdrawals on November 15, 2022. However, to some investors' delight, FTX Japan resumed withdrawals February 21st, which involved moving funds from the defunct exchange to a Liquid Japan account. And days later, a popular crypto trader from Japan confirmed to have successfully withdrawn all their funds. Now, obviously, this is in Japanese, so here's a rough translation of the tweet. All payments completed, and to be honest, at first I felt like I had given up. I would like to express my gratitude to the people at FTX Japan for their efforts, as they know the part that was really overlooked. And days after resuming fund withdrawals, Japan FTX revealed that users withdrew roughly 6.6 billion yen, which is roughly $50 million in USD, while a community member responded by saying, "Congrats on your escape. Many are yet to witness a total redemption of their funds." So it seems select on who was able to actually withdraw their funds. And following the accusations against SBF, a federal judge ordered a superseding indictment unsealed containing 12 criminal counts just recently. Quoting Reuters Legal, a new superseding indictment against FTX crypto exchange founder SBF containing 12 charges were unsealed in a Manhattan federal court. Now, SBF's criminal trial is due to begin in October, while FTX bankruptcy case is currently ongoing. How do you think this is all likely to play out? I'll let you boy in the comments right down below. With all that being shared, now let's discuss the latest with the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, as there was a recent interview between Peter McCormick and Michael Sonnenschein, who is the CEO. It was actually very interesting, so I'm going to be sharing with you some of the highlights of what's going on. In a recent interview, Grayscale Investment CEO Sonnenschein stated he cannot imagine why the U.S. SEC wouldn't want to protect Grayscale investors and return the true asset value to them. In a February 25th interview on What Bitcoin Did, popular podcast host Peter McCormick and Sonnenschein explained that the SEC violated the Administrative Procedures Act by denying approval for the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust to be a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund back in June of 2022. He explained that this act ensures the regulator doesn't show favoritism or act arbitrarily, adding that the SEC acted arbitrarily by approving Bitcoin futures ETFs while rejecting GBTC's conversion. I think he has a great point. Sonnenschein noted that when the SEC started approving the first Bitcoin ETFs, Grayscale took it as a sign that the SEC was changing their attitude on Bitcoin. He said there are a couple of billions of dollars of capital that would immediately go back into the investors' pockets on an overnight basis. So it sounds like a great solution to me. Once again, if Grayscale Bitcoin Trust was approved as a spot Bitcoin ETF, as the fund would bleed back up to its net asset value. Sonnenschein explained that this is due to GBTC currently trading at a discount to its NAV, but if it were to convert to an ETF, there would no longer be a discount nor a premium. There would be an arbitrage mechanism embedded. That's the difference. He reiterated, Grayscale is in the process of suing the SEC right now and could have a decision challenging the SEC's denial of its initial application by as early as fall 2023. He also notes that Grayscale has over 1 million investor accounts, with investors worldwide counting on the firm to do the right thing for them. Sonnenschein cannot imagine why the SEC wouldn't want to protect investors and return the value to them. He added that Grayscale isn't going to shy away from the fact that it has a commercial interest in this approval, noting if the application to challenge the SEC gets denied, Grayscale might be able to appeal the case into the U.S. Supreme Court. This comes after the SEC filed a 73-page brief with the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia in December 2022, outlining its reasons for denying Grayscale's request to convert its 12 billion Bitcoin trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF in June 2022. The SEC based its decision on findings that Grayscale's proposal did not sufficiently protect against fraud and manipulation. The agency since has made similar findings in several earlier applications to create spot Bitcoin ETFs. All I know is this: if we use our common sense and think about this for a moment, why is the SEC so proposed to offering a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States? It's very clear. Every application, there has been probably a dozen plus, including from Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which I just covered. They are all denied. The only thing that has ever gotten approved has been a futures ETF, which can be used to manipulate markets in which they probably do that. You know what I mean? Obviously. So why is there still no spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States? Because regulators don't want it. And it probably is against the law, as pointed out here. So I think they have a strong case. And I'm praying for GBTC to prevail against the SEC. I don't like the fact that there is no spot Bitcoin ETF. I think we need that to usher in that massive adoption, which we've all been waiting for, especially from institutions, as there are trillions, hundreds of trillions, sitting on the sidelines just awaiting for a spot Bitcoin ETF. So hopefully it comes sooner than later. And with that being shared, now let's discuss the latest from the ex-BitMEX CEO Arthur Hayes, as he warns of a massive crash incoming, and then we'll tap into doing some live Q&A. So BitMEX founder and crypto veteran Arthur Hayes just blazed, says there will be a certain point when he flips super bullish on digital asset markets. In a new interview on Crypto Banter, he says Bitcoin and other risk assets are likely to undergo a large correction before the real bull run happens. Quoting him here, I think that Bitcoin has not truly escaped its correlation with global risk assets. It might have recently done quite well on the little bounce from 16 to 24,000, but I do think we're in store for a correlation one moment. By that, I mean everything goes down massively together, Bitcoin included. Do I think it is going to break the lows of the FTX saga? No. Could it break 20,000? For sure. But am I looking for another leg down in Bitcoin to correspond with general risk markets? And then once that is finished, then I am super bullish in this space, even if everything else is going to ish, because I believe in the response of what the monetary and fiscal authorities will do in another unpleasant situation. They'll hand out money to people and they'll try to print it. And in a recent blog post, Hayes said, in the event Bitcoin and Ether continue the recent rally from the bear market lows, the rest of the markets could vastly outperform. And according to the crypto billionaire, altcoins could go vertical on the back of a sustained Bitcoin and Ethereum bull run. Quoting him here, if Bitcoin and Ethereum continue to rally, there will definitely be a Ishcoin vertical that goes bananas over the next few months. The key to coining is understanding they go up and down in waves. First, the crypto reserve assets rally, that is Bitcoin and Ethereum. The rally in these stalwarts eventually stalls, and then the price falls slightly. At the same time, the Ishcoin complex stages an aggressive rally. Then Ishcoins rediscover gravity, and interest shifts back to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this stair-stepping process continues until the secular bull market ends. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Arthur Hayes. Are you anticipating a big crash that will send the entire markets tumbling? And to watch this video he did entitled, This Crypto Rally Ends Soon, Which Altcoins Will I? Check the show notes below the video in the description. So there you have it. And how many of you are more in the boat right now that Bitcoin will maintain above that critical psychological level of 20,000? Let me know. And how many of you are in the camp that we're more likely to visit sub 20,000 and potentially test the current cycle lows? Either way, holla at your boy as we dive into the live Q&A. Welcome to everyone just tuning in. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Matthew C., good to see you. Nathan, Digital Dankness, Steve Kingston, Grandpa's Rock. Amen. Megadon, welcome. Matthew C., always a pleasure. In the building, Bitcoin Trini, we got Rudy in the house, Nathan Roth, ESP Academy, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to scroll to the top. We're going to answer as many questions as possible. I'm curious as well how many of you are going to be watching Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury this afternoon. I know I will be watching. I'm anticipating a knockout from Jake Paul, but we'll see how that plays out. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. I think countries move away from the US dollar. Bitcoin is the obvious choice. US is corrupt. Washington or WAS, the most honest, trustworthy fiat, or was the most honest. Gotcha. Bitcoin is trustless. Make it grunt proof. Amen. Yes, but all be in Israel. What is the primary? So SpongeBob Dankness says, I do agree with the dollar being less valued lately by other countries, but I believe that the reason Iran has given up on it is they know we own China, we owe China tons and oil from Iran. Steve says, I can't predict which country will be next world currency, but USA is overdue for a handoff as a world leader. Dankness says how we backed our dollars in the past. Matthew says, I don't think any fiat is trustworthy. I don't know anyone that does feel that way. Most people I know that aren't orange-pilled pick the US dollar because it is the least smelly turd. Facts, I feel that same way, Matthew. So, yeah, it's a fact. Steve says world currency standard equals the one that is less worthless. Matthew says being the world currency also creates problems for countries with cash and labor requirements. Steve says might take 5 or 10 years, but I could. Bitcoin be world standard of trade. Dankness says, I am with you because Bitcoin will be where most go and why it was created to move the corrupt fiats. I'm glad this question sparked a real evaluation amongst our fam. SpongeBob chimed in, Saudi Arabia has already announced their acceptance of other currencies for oil and of the petro dollar. Truth Sponge. Yeah, I also like to point out that the average fiat currency lifespan is 50 years. The US dollar has been around now for more than 50 years, so it's long overdue to be replaced. So it will be a fight, but being the reserve currency has its benefits. They are mostly short term because at some point it is always cheaper to export labor and they always have to expand the military, says Matthew. It is a proven long-term losing cycle. Steve says, interesting insight. I learn as much from you guys as I do from the show. You guys are awesome. Matthew says, I just smashed the like. I forgot to do it when I first came in. Don't forget to smash that like. I appreciate that as a reminder, as it's the greatest compliment you can do to help show support to the show. And if you're new to the show, make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell icon. Turn on all notifications so that you're notified every day that I go live. Dankness says, yes, it's a losing battle with other countries when they switch to Bitcoin like El Salvador, ? Or are we still going to be stuck in dirty fiat for a decade or so? Man, I hope many other nations follow in the footsteps of Bukele and El Salvador and adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. I think eventually, slowly, gradually, then after Russia, China, or the US and UK, then suddenly, once the top 5 countries go, Bitcoin, it's over, says Matthew, because I see it. If the UAE bags Bitcoin for oil and not fiat, will be the biggest push in my opinion. Steve says, how do you folks think the petrodollar would shift if the United States started getting back to producing and exporting oil and gas again? Interesting. Dankness says, I think if we keep losing our oil reserves, then the dollar will crash faster. Matthew says, I think that will do huge, but US, Russia, China, UK, Japan really will steal it, in my opinion, until they have a gradual move from the tiny nations to the smaller nations to the medium to the richest. Countries will fight the longest. Dankness says, I love that thought, Matthew. If the top 5 bag Bitcoin for oil, you're right. It will shift the entire global economy to the king crypto. It's like they're trying to crash it. Yeah, they are trying to crash it for CBDC. I know the play they are going for, says Dankness. That's right. We all know they're trying to usher in central bank digital currencies and purposely crash the dollar by printing as much money as humanly possible until the wheels fall off. Pretty clear if you're to ask me. I think it will be slow until one of the top 5 nations does. Once of them does it, it will allow others to follow, in my opinion. The US and China will likely be the last. SpongeBob says any country in control of the money printer will be corrupt. Absolutely, because all fiat money is corrupt. It's corruptible. And all corruptible money is corrupted because people are corruptible. That's what separates Bitcoin from everything else out there. It's what makes it, you know what I mean, on a whole totally different playing field. SpongeBob says any country in control of their money printer will be corrupt. Facts. I agree. Steve says, good morning, JB. Looks like the room has serious game faces on today. Hit us up with your wisdom. I appreciate that, fam. Good morning, JB, and to the crypto fam. Thank you, Nathan. Dankness says absolute power. Money printer corrupts. Absolutely. Facts. Great quote, by the way. Thanks for sharing. Steve says the U.S. follows last. We will be missing a very important boat. Facts. I think a lot of people are going to leave the United States. Look, some of our best brilliant minds have already left the United States. Look at Max Kaiser and Stacy. They're now citizens of El Salvador. Why? Because the United States threw us overboard a very long time ago, and he's been calling them out for it a very long time ago. You know what I mean? So Montana, Wyoming, Texas, Georgia, and I believe Mississippi and Kentucky all have Bitcoin bills in place. Love to hear that, Matthew. I hope the rest of the United States follows in their footsteps. Arizona also. That's what's up. Colorado has a mining facility at my old Intel fab. Excellent. That's awesome. Nathan, that's what I am saying. States are ahead of the Fed. Fed is tied to the New York and California, the laggards that perpetuate this fraud and the closest to the fiat printer. Steve says, going to Montana soon, be a Bitcoin tycoon, riding off into the dawn with my Zycronian and trusted tweezers. Whatever that means. New Jersey is on that list, Matthew. Close third. Word up. I agree. New York is also close to the printer. It's an extension of New York, says Matthew C. Thanks, Matthew. I brought the cheese. There's a reason Brandon only won 12% of the countries in the U.S. Update. New York is more constitutional and the city is more communist. California is the land of fruits and nuts. I'm glad I left Newsom, says Digital Dankness. I'm happy for you, fam. Let them learn the hard way. Everyone gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve. I still try to educate my friends in New York and California. I think you're right. I think everyone does buy Bitcoin at the price they deserve. Facts. Sunday and the fam is here. JV One Love. Appreciate you sailing with twins. Shout out to South Africa, all the beautiful people down there. Love you all as well. Thank you, Sailing with Twins. Shank and back, made it back. I appreciate that. Satwise Jank says smashed. I appreciate that. And for those of you who don't already have a Binance account set up, please use my referral link in the description. There's two different ones. If you're a global user, meaning you're not in the US, make sure you use that link. You'll get the best incentives and up to a $600 bonus. If you are a Binance US user, as I am, you have to use that link. Get set up today. Again, they offer free trading with Bitcoin for the top pairs such as USDT, etc. The same thing for Ethereum. So it's truly a no-brainer. And I also share that not only am I just promoting the exchange, I'm also warning you, regardless of the exchange, including Binance, after you make your trade, take your crypto off the exchange. You never have to leave your crypto on a centralized exchange. To me, that doesn't really make sense unless you're actively trading. So how I utilize this exchange, I make my trades, boom, executed, lowest possible fees that exist. You know what I mean? With exchanges, I feel good about that. I instantly remove my crypto from the exchange, put it in a cold storage device. No worries whatsoever. That, my friend, is how I would recommend doing it as well. And not just for Binance, but it goes for all exchanges. No matter what you choose to use, because it's up to you what you want to do, just be smart about it. You know what I mean? Don't let them have the ability to take advantage of you if something went south, because we've already witnessed with FTX what can potentially happen to even the largest exchanges in the world. So hopefully that's helpful. Let's freaking go. Yeah, this is episode 1205, fam. Let's get it. OP is holding surprisingly well. Might be the Coinbase thing. Gensler announced again that all crypto other than Bitcoin is a security. Exactly. I announced that in the show. Still in my long, ready for a better week than last, says Nathan. I wish you the best of luck with it. I hunt with the bulls and with the bears. Don't fight it. Make money both ways, says Steve. That's what's up. Matthew says I'm 80% in it for the revolution, 20% in it for the lifestyle improvement to make money. That's what's up. Nathan, against my belief, may be a right time to quit, but I am always bullish. I want to know what Gensler is smoking and why he isn't sharing. With proof of stake, ETH being the definition of a security. Touche. Digital dankness. Very well said. What's going on, Bitcoin Trini? Always a pleasure. Steve Kingston says 50% revolution, 40% paranoia, 10% greed. That's my incentive breakdown. Hilarious. Support crypto news alerts with JV. I mean, he is live on Sunday, fam. Smash the like button. I appreciate that. You guys are amazing. You make me feel extra special. That's why I'm here every day. Unless it's physically impossible for me to be here, I'm here for you. Shiba is at the top, but did you see how many coins it took? Yeah, like, I don't know, probably trillions of coins. The number was so big, I didn't even want to attempt to say it because I probably don't know how to say it. It was like quadrillions of coins. SBF is the back door that slams shut in Japan. Yeah, it looks that way. We should set up our VPN to Japan, Steve says. Megadon says, good morning, JB and the fam. Getting ready for a little break in Palm Springs. Shout out to you, Megadon, and Palm Springs. Kind of like my old stomping grounds. I lived in California when I was younger. I remember driving through Palm Springs many of times. What's to come? Stacks by the pool and golf course. Sounds good to me. Enjoy. You know what I mean? Yeah, the interview was heavy. You watched that interview with McCormick and Sunshine. I watched some clips from it. I was very entertained, to say the least. So I was glad to cover that story today. I wonder how much it costs to file a suit against the SEC. You got to have deep pockets. The only reason Ripple Labs is still, able to fight, 2-3 years later, they have deep pockets. They have hundreds of millions. They have a war chest. Unless you have a war chest, it's going to be very difficult to go against the SEC. They have unlimited resources because they shake down companies like Kraken for $30 million for no logical reason except overreaching, so they can use it against you to continue to extort more exchanges like Binance, etc. It's just the nature of the beast. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But with that being shared, now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. We broke down the latest technical analysis as block stacks towards another 12% and Bitcoin flat at currently 23.2. We also discussed the latest news of Colombia's legal system experimenting in the metaverse, according to the latest report, as well as Voyager is now selling their crypto assets through Coinbase, suggests the latest on-chain data. We also discussed the latest with FTX Japan, allowing the total withdrawal of funds as users rejoice. The great escape. We also discussed the latest with GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust approval, which could return a couple of billions of dollars to investors if the SEC allows it, which they probably won't. We also discussed the latest with ex-BitMEX CEO Arthur Hayes warning of a massive global crash incoming and sharing his Bitcoin and crypto strategy. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below, and I look forward to seeing